So what we're going to cover today is how you guys can eat out, go whether it be takeout, whether it be eating out in a restaurant multiple times a week and still lose weight. It's the easiest way for you to, air quotes, ruin your hard work during the week if you're not aware of this, okay? If you calorie track or don't calorie track, there's a little bit of difference here, but I'm going to show you all the different strategies I use, okay? So if you eat out once a week, a takeout, meal out in the restaurant, I have a very simple idea. And as you love my beautiful artwork here, don't be a dick. It's really, really simple. Don't be a dick just basically means don't be a dick. I could have said that better. Essentially, don't take the piss, right? If you're going to McDonald's, okay, this is one of the most common things I see. People will order a meal, a Big Mac, chips, and a drink. Absolutely fine. No issue doing that. The issue is when they order the Big Mac, chips, and drink, then they have the cheese dippers on the side, then they have the McFlurry on the top, and then they have a small cheeseburger on the side. And the common argument I get is, but that one meal won't fill me up. You're not going to McDonald's to fill you up. You're going to McDonald's because it's easy, because it's quick, and because you want to have something that tastes fucking good. Okay? So, don't eat in McDonald's to fill you up. Have a meal, have the chips, have the Big Mac, have the drink. Try and go for a zero drink if you can, or a diet drink. It makes it a lot easier, because you'll usually use about anywhere between 600 to 1,000 calories on that alone. And then what you can do is if you're hungry later on, have something lighter in the house, like fruit, like a little bit of a salad, like a big bag of popcorn, like some fruit on a plate, like a yogurt bowl, anything like that to help you kind of keep yourself full. The McDonald's is more about the enjoyment and less about filling you up. If that doesn't make sense still, the easiest advice I can give you from here, eat till you're content, not till you're full. Basically, if you get that feeling of feeling like, I can barely move, you've eaten too much. So, don't be a dick. If you're eating out twice per week, so this is kind of like where we're going to make some compromises, okay? So let's just add this on actually. On this side, less action, less compromise. And up this end, obviously, more action, compromise. Because basically that's what this scale is that anything down this end, you don't need to do as much for. Anything up this end, you need to plan more, think about more, and like so. You also want to have this sort of stuff less frequently, okay? So, because having it less frequently means you're less likely to overdo it. Because again, eating out, you can easily eat half or more of your day's calories without meaning to. So times 2 per week. What I say to this is pick the one that matters most to you, okay? And that doesn't mean pick one and then ignore the other. No, it means pick the one that matters the most. So if you've got a 21st birthday and then your mates just want to meet out for a bite to eat, I would probably lean towards the 21st birthday party being more important. The reason being is that's the meal I'm going to enjoy like I would on the 1 per week strategy. So one of those meals you're going to pick to enjoy, okay? The second one, you're going to be a little bit more tactical about what you eat. Again, that doesn't mean you need to go eat a salad whilst you're out, but you maybe are going to look at lighter options. So anything like creamy, Italian-based dishes are like this. So anything like creamy sauces like carbonaras or really heavy cheesy sort of ones like lasagnas and stuff like that, you're maybe going to avoid because these can be very, very calorific. I had a client the other day who had a sizzler-based plate, okay? So it's basically one of those little skillets, lots of chicken, veg on there, and then a side of potatoes on the side. That's a little bit of a lighter option, okay? So maybe consider going for something that's based around protein, maybe like steak, maybe like some chicken breast, something like that. Having a side of vegetables, whether it be peas, whether it be a salad, anything like that, and then having some chips, but not eating all of them or eating just some of them. The idea is the second day out, you kind of have to make a bit of a compromise just so you can enjoy one and be a compromise in the second. The other thing you might need to consider, again, this is your choice, is the meals you eat prior to going out. So we do a thing called protein loading and calorie sparing. Basically what that means is at the beginning part of your day, so let's say from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. on that day, you're not going to eat as many treats and snacks. So you're not going to really have the biscuits that day. You're not going to have the chocolate bar snacks. You're going to kind of take out your everyday little treats and bits you enjoy, maybe the iced coffees and stuff like that, just to make it work because you're trying to spare some calories. You're also going to add more protein, okay? So popular options tend to be for my clients is my yogurt bowl. That's one of the most popular ones that people do. They tend to get 200 grams of 0% Greek yogurt. So usually Fire or Tesco Finest or M&S Finest. It has 20 grams of protein in it. That's enough. Some people often add a scoop of protein into it. So like vanilla, again, makes that about 40 to 50 grams of protein. Bit of sprinkled granola, some fruit on top. You've got this for 300 to 400 calories max with 50 to 60 grams of protein in that bowl alone. Really, really simple one to do. The other one, as used by this description here, BFS, big fucking salad. Take your lunch or your earliest meal in the day, that's after breakfast. So lunch, 11s, whatever the hell you call it, okay? Make it a salad. You can buy a pre-prepped bag of salad, so like the Chinese sections they do in like Tesco's and stuff like that, or you make it your own. Lettuce, grated carrot, onion, cucumber, tomatoes, you name it. Buy a massive bowl of that. Pick a protein source using my protein guide if you've already got access to that. Chicken, tofu if you're a bit of a weirdo, turkey, bacon medallions all cooked up, thrown up over the top. Mince if you want. So just pick a protein source, throw that over the top, add a light dressing over the top of it as well. Again, avoiding cream-based ones. Think more like a vinaigrette and stuff like that, balsamic vinegar potentially and stuff, and eat that. The aim here is to make you feel fuller for longer with a lot less calories than you typically eat. So that's the strategy for the 2-day a week. Pick one day, that's more important. Enjoy that like you would on the 1-day a week strategy. On day 2, you're gonna be a bit smarter with your choice on the day out. On both of the days, you're gonna be a bit smarter with what you eat earlier in the day. Think yogurt bowl, big salad, prioritizing protein, keeping the calories lower throughout the day. So 3 days a week is a little bit less about fat loss that week, okay? Because what you're actually trying to do is damage limitation. So you're trying to implement everything we've done in 2 days a week, okay? But you probably have to take this a step further and think about the days you're not eating out as well. And this is what this is, okay? So this is my weekly calorie planner, okay? This is a free document that I've got on Google Sheets, okay, that I can send to you from this video. So comment the word sheet below and I'll send it across to you. And I'm gonna show you now how to use this document just with a little screen recording.
So this is my weekly calorie plan, and I want you to kind of have a little look at this, okay? It looks very complex, but it's actually quite simple. So what you'll see here is your calorie target here. So say this was your calorie deficit target of 1,600 calories, which is quite a common one for women, right? This is what you'd have through Monday through Sunday, okay? And these bars represent a visual of that. So these are the numbers. This is just a visual representation of that. What we're going to do here is show you what it takes to eat one meal out a day, okay? So down the bottom is the revised calorie target. I'm going to say how many extra calories I need in this kind of marker here, all right? And then it will adjust it. So if I put an extra 1,000 calories, so I need 2,600 calories that day, right? That is very underestimating the amount of calories that you might eat on a takeout or on a meal out. By the way, most people will probably eat far, far more than that on their meals out. But basically what this does is, okay, so if you had 1,600 calories across 7 days, that's 11,200 calories, right? What this would do, this would remove 2,600 calories from that and then divide whatever's left by the remaining 6 days of the week. So it gives you 1,433 calories for the rest of the days, okay? Which is actually quite manageable. It just means scaling back maybe one small bit of carbohydrates, maybe not having a snack a certain day, and you can still eat quite healthy kind of full meals, right? So one meal out a week, I'm actually quite happy with. Like even if I was shooting even further, so if I said 1,400 calories, right? It's still doable, 1,300 calories there, but let's put it back to 1,000. Now, when you get to when you get to 2 days out, can you see where the problem's going to start to happen? 1,200 calories is actually quite hard for a lot of people to do for a period of time, okay? A lot of people will be quite hungry, and you might have to accept that, which is why when I say if you're eating out twice a week, you enjoy one of them, and you maybe act a bit smarter on the other day. So you maybe try not to eat out eat as heavily, okay? So it's gone from 1,200 to 1,260, so it's not even that big a difference. Let's try 500 now. Right, we've got yourself up to 1,300. So even eating a little bit smarter, it's still quite low calories to eat on the other days, right? Now we're going to really throw it up, okay? So let's go back up to the 1,000. What if we did 3 days per week out, okay? This is where there is a huge problem, okay? So now you're having to have 850 calories on the remaining 4 days, 850 calories on Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday, just to offset it, okay? And that's where there's a massive problem. So this is where you're really, really struggling with 3 days out a week, because again, you're eating 850 calories for 4 different days a week, which would leave you extremely hungry. Even if I was being nice, right, and shifting your perspective. So this is calories for weight loss. Let's say your maintenance was 2,000, right, across all of them. I'm just going to do this quickly. I know there's a fast way of doing this, by the way. I'm just doing it really slowly because I'm a knob. And then I've had an extra 400 calories. Let's call this 600, 600, 600. Okay. So if I was shooting for a maintenance, right, week, I would have to eat 1,500 calories on these other days. So that is still doable, but then you've had to adjust your expectation, which not everyone does. Okay, a lot of people are like, why I should still lose weight, and it's weird. They know they're not doing the right things towards their goals, but they don't adjust their expectations. Okay, and even though you're eating at maintenance calories, your weight might increase, and you need to understand this. That is not because you've gained body fat, which is what maintenance suggests. If you eat over your maintenance, you gain body fat. But you will have gained weight because there's more salt in your diet. There's pulling more water into your body. There's more carbohydrates to store, which pulls more water into your body. You've probably got more shit in you. You've got lots of things that hold on to weight, and that can easily change by like several pounds or half a kilo to a couple of kilos. Do you know what I mean? It can change massively. So again, this is where the scales are only a short-term measure. They reflect your eating, pee, all the other things in your body. but you're starting to see the problem that we'll have. So if you go back to 1600 calories, so you're starting to see the problem that if you're trying to lose weight, which is what we actually are, rather than maintain our weight, so then push this back up because I've taken those calories back. So 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. So you're really seeing how this could sabotage it. So 3 days a week, you ideally don't want to be doing that. You got to shift your expectations to a maintenance week. If you're going to 2, you can still do it. You're going to have to be really smart though, and you're going to actually have to kind of plan your food on the other day, which is why I say enjoy one meal out. Think about being smarter on the other day. If you're only eating 1 meal out a week, you can just go ahead and enjoy it using my pick 2 rule. Again, out of starters, mains, dessert, and alcohol, pick 2 of them, enjoy it. Don't be a dick, and then you should be a good one from there. So hopefully this has helped.
So hopefully that weekly calorie planner video helped. As I said before, you're going to have to make a lot more compromises. This is more about damage limitation and trying to eat smarter at breakfast, eat smarter at lunch, have a lot less treats that day or that week, should I say, because you're having treats when you're going out, whether it be puddings, whether it be lovely, tasty, like rich food and stuff like that. If all else of this fails, the best thing I always coach people to do when they eat out, okay, whether it's takeouts, whether it's out at a restaurant, is the pick 2 method. Okay, essentially, all you do is you pick 2 of the 4 options here. You've got starters, you've got mains, you've got desserts, you've got alcohol, right? Pick 2 of them and enjoy them, okay? This is the best method for when you're eating out once per week. This is okay when you're eating out twice per week. When you're eating out 3 times per week, I'm sorry, I would just go, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that, and just have a main. You have to learn to say no. It sucks, but if you want fat loss, I'm gonna be real with you, you have to make compromise, but at the same time, you can still enjoy it somewhat. So hopefully this video has helped. If you've got any questions, let me know. And as I said before, have a look at this. I'm going to show you, I've obviously shown you this in the video here, but if you want access to this for yourself, comment the word sheet below and I'll send it across to you.